Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Attempts at Governance, episode 218. AAG, the longest running blockchain governance show in history. We are very lucky to be joined by so many wonderful faces, new faces here today. We have, actually returning faces. We have Kukabi back on the show, Pauline from the PBA, welcome. We have Bill and Karam here, Strindberg, welcome back. The White Rabbit is in the house, Nikos, Carlos, Ryan, the guys from Heroic, and Mr. Limo in the top left corner. We're going to start right now with the state of the Treasury. It is up only this week. When it comes to DOT, up 470,000 DOT, worth $2.1 million at today's market value. That brings the DOT Treasury to 30.77 million DOT. USDC is up 200,000 to 2.77 million, and USDT up 110,000 to 8.32 million. That is the state of the Treasury. Oh, wait, one sec. I just wanted to say, look at this epic recovery of DOT in the Treasury. We are up from our lows. I think the all-time high for DOT in the Treasury is 44 point something million. We're already back to 15.6 million. Just a 3x to go, and we'll be right back to where we were a year ago. So that's the state of the Treasury. I'll now throw it over. Oh my goodness. I am honored. I am elated. And I am pleased to present Funky for the State of the Funk.
Thanks so much, Jay. The state of the funk is free because we are no longer a DV. And I just want to start off by saying congratulations to Cohort 4, those of you who were selected. I will tell you, it is a lot of work. And a lot of this fell on my shoulders as the point person leading our DV delegation. A lot of time spent fielding comments, so on and so forth. I mean, I know it's still going till April 14th, but for those who are coming in, it's very serious work. You have to be great stewards of the ecosystem. I would encourage everyone to do their due diligence with every single proposal. Do your best about giving feedback. I'm sure we'll touch on this in a broader discussion today. So I have some other comments I'd like to make, but I'll just keep this short and just say that I am torn in the real sense. It's been an honor to serve. Obviously, Lucky Friday will continue to serve. We'll still vote and everything else, even though we don't have a ton of DOT. But also just I feel like a little lighter today, knowing that I won't have to have that responsibility on my shoulders. So thanks so much, Jay.
Thank you for your service, Funky, and nice to have you back. We are going to have a deep discussion about the new DV later in the show, but for now, we're going to get to Referenda Gone By with Limo.
GM. So we have 7 refs gone by this week. The first one, which is just confirmed, is by Raoul on the medium spinner track. Ref 1476, this was approved, and it is for 235,000 USDC for Just Ventures retroactive compensation for contributions to the Polkadot ecosystem. And I think everybody that's in Polkadot knows those guys help out a lot. So congrats to the team. Then we have Perk Assembly, Ref 1463. This was also approved, and this is for 531,000 USDT for Perk Assembly Social Contract 2025. Seemingly, people were happy with the changes they made since the last time they submitted. Then there's one we normally don't mention, timed out refs, but this one was funny. This is by Unchained, Ref 1488. Timed out. I think they got made immediately when posting, and it was for $416,000 for Laura Shin's Unchained podcast. Then I've put Big Grift Get Fucked. It's interesting. Then we've got one by Victor, Ref 1462. This was approved, and this is 657,000 USDC for the Polkadot API 2025. And I think we might talk a little bit about payouts at some point, because I think these guys need to do the claim as well. Then we have JC on the small spinner track, Ref 1453. This was rejected, and it was for 46,000 USDT for the editorial board in Spanish from the period of December 2024 to May 2025. So we'll see if they come back. Then we've got, these guys are on the show a few times, the next two. This is India Unlocked on the small spinner track, Ref 1449. This was rejected, and it was 69,000 USDT for Namaste Polkadot, Education and Community for Polkadot India. And finally, we have PYOR, Ref 1438. This was rejected, and it was for 78,000 USDC for Polkapulse DeFi dashboard for Polkadot parachains. And that is all the refs gone by this week.
Well, you piqued my interest there, Limo. Something about you were saying this Polkadot API. Maybe they need to claim their stablecoin payout here. What are you talking about? What's the issue?
Okay, so before we had stablecoins that you could get from the Treasury, everybody was used to this spend period in Polkadot, right? And it's like 28 days or 7 days on Kusama, 6 days on Kusama. So people used to just wait for that time period to elapse, and then they got automatically paid out. Different on Asset Hub when you're requesting assets. When your referendum is approved, you have 30 days to claim those tokens. So there's a video on my YouTube of how to do this. You can do it through the UIs if you're using like an individual account. But basically, you can see pending spends, and if you don't claim, it expires, right? Anybody on the network can claim it for you. I've claimed it for like Nova Wallet. I've claimed it for some stuff that Bergman's been doing, but it requires somebody to be paying attention to claim it. So at Chaos DAO, we were reviewing pending spends. at the weekend to see, because there's all this problem with like the Treasury not having enough stable coins and stuff. So we were trying to see who hasn't claimed yet and is pending. There is one spend that has expired that people probably will not be happy with. And it's the Talisman mobile wallet proposal actually expired and didn't get claimed. So they need to now resubmit their referendum if they want the money. There are like, I think 7 spends. There's some that are scheduled in the future, like Snowbridge, for example. So they can't even claim them yet. The 30-day period hasn't even started. But for example, the Polkadot API team, they have like 26 days left or 25 days left. But either they need to claim it or somebody else needs to claim it for them, right? So yeah, please remember to claim your money, because otherwise you have to go again, which probably isn't great.
Okay, so just to review this Talisman mobile wallet proposal, 598.1 thousand USDC. That USDC has been, or T, that USDT has been returned to the Treasury, meaning Talisman's going to have to resubmit here. Very painful.
Yeah, so the funds don't leave the Treasury, right? They're just like stay, but you can claim it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't claim it. We noticed it like on Saturday or something, and I believe the team know about it now.
Okay. Well, hopefully when they come back, we can get that through as quickly as possible. Obviously, these mistakes happen. It's even happened to the Coos once, but hopefully we can get them through. And the Polkadot API one you mentioned there, Nikos, you were telling us that because there was this deal with the Polkadot Community Foundation, right? Yeah, has there been any more communication with them? Because I mean, if we claim these funds, it's going to go to their wallet, right? And any update in that case?
The only thing I ask the guys is to communicate some people that are more proficient than me on the subject. And I think they did. I don't want to speak from their behalf as I'm not part of the team, but I can ask them to be on the next AAG.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. I mean, obviously, everybody was very supportive of this proposal. We just want to make sure those funds actually get to you guys, because you know, the Pappy talk is always positive, and we don't want to have any obstructions there. All right, well, thanks very much, Limo, for Referenda Gone By. We are going to start with a check-in on the dot play bounty, but I want to give just a little bit of context and update here. So last night, you know, we've been doing these East Toronto meetups, right? I've been kind of raving about them. Last night, we did a little field trip downtown Toronto, and lo and behold, there's a group called Toronto DAO, which throws banger events, apparently. And so we just joined forces with them and spread the good gospel of wood. And it was a pretty interesting meetup because this was actually sponsored by Sui Play. No, not Sui Play. Let me see here. Yes, Sui Play, they're called. Sui Play. And what is Sui Play doing? Well, Sui Play... Okay, so they had a beatboxer, actually. Let me play this for the pretty sick. So they had a beatboxer in there. They had a comedian in there. It was a great event. But what happened here is Sui Play paid Toronto DAO to host this event and shill the Sui Play device, which I'll tell you about in a second. Nobody from Sui was there, unfortunately. I really wanted to speak to them. But what they're basically doing is this is a white label Steam Deck, basically. Or not a Steam Deck, but the OS of a Steam Deck. And it's in this basically kind of like a PSP looking device. And it's going to play games that run on the Sui blockchain, which are very rudimentary so far. But if you go to the website, they do have AAA games showing on the website like it's possible. And yeah, $600 for the device if you want to buy it. Apparently, it's going to sell out quick. But anyway, that was an interesting look into the Sui ecosystem, and with an event on the ground. It's really nice to meet those guys from Toronto DAO. Can't recommend getting a meetup going enough. It's like you just keep accelerating and joining forces with everybody on the ground. But anyway, in other gaming news, Arbitrum appears to be under fire. Remember they had that $200 million gaming fund? Well, members of that DAO seem to be a little upset with how that's been going, and looks like they're trying to claw back some of that money. In this article on DeFi Llama News, looks like the ARB token has dropped 60%, meaning the program itself, the funding has been cut to 86 million from 200. Real mess there. Limo, did you have a comment?
Wasn't it the Arbitrum DAO that once voted in one direction and the foundation just said, screw you, we're doing it anyway?
Yeah.
It's pretty big governance token is app.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Technically, it's a cow.
Big governance, love non-self-executing governance.
Yeah. But yeah, that's right. So that's the situation with Arbitrum. We have a little gaming fund on Polkadot, the dot play project. Angie wanted to come in and give us an update on how the strategy is going. This is a lot smaller. I think we dedicated 1.5 million worth of dot, or what was it?
It was $2.5 million
Worth of, yeah.
at the time, and we were pointing out the fact that the same week, ironically, Arbitrum was allocating $200 million.
Right.
But we were taking a completely different approach and strategy. So, yeah, I mean, I obviously don't want to dance on anyone's grave, but I mean, when they did this, it was very clear that they were going down the normal blockchain gaming path, the normal Web3 gaming path, which has been a disaster, really, on any metric. So, can I share my screen?
Yeah,
just
you may.
to show?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get the timer going there, Funkatron. I know.
Oh yeah, I'll go really fast. I'll go really fast. Okay, so really fast. I just want to do, because I just did this for this update. Okay, so our strategy, just so everybody knows, I think it's a good time to update it, is we're going after game developers, because we believe that if we go after game developers and we convince them to come to Polkadot, the players of those great games will follow, and they'll come for eventually what we're going to be calling the experience exchange for gaming in Polkadot. And many things are happening. There's kind of a perfect storm right now, which is empowering independent game developers, and it's also empowering these kind of virtual community building spaces for social questing, intergame activity, events, community, all of the things that are actually native in crypto. Gaming, the gaming vertical community is also very important, but it's not as native. Like, they don't have something like this, for example. I can't think of an example of something as powerful as what you have, Jay, with AAG. But the other thing that we're thinking about doing is, having sort of an intergame activity measurement called .pops, and then we will show independent developers the way through Mythical and Everloot. Mythical on the platform side, and kind of these kind of two ends of the spectrum in a way. And then I just want to show you kind of real quick. I'll do this. The challenge in Web3 gaming and what Arbitrum and others have path that they've gone down is this idea that you can go after, again, individual players, invite them to your game, launch a token, everybody chases that token and tries to sell it faster than anybody else, and then goes to the next game. And so the numbers don't lie. These things have all gone to zero, just to round off here. just to round, these numbers go to zero. So the issue or the interesting point is that there are a lot of challenges in Web 2 gaming right now. Costs are really high. Time to build has been really high. We've had more layoffs in gaming, the gaming vertical, 90,000 since the peak. Whoa. And so what happens when people get laid off from these big companies? They become independent developers. What's happening right now is, well, let me tell you, let me just go back to the next slide. So what's happening right now is these independent developers have these inexpensive studio tools, which have been democratized. And there are these new platforms that have grown up, Roblox, Fortnite, and others. Those are the two dominant, where you can go as an independent developer, take your kind of really cheap tools and build experiences in 3 months, not 3 years. And for a few hundred, 25,000 to a few hundred thousand, not, 200 million or 50 million, whatever the number is. And so it's a great perfect storm for us, because the ethos of these independent game developers is actually aligned with crypto. They want a lot of the same things. And I'm going to share this on the forum so you can read it, because I don't want to take too much time. But the ethos is very similar. So the strategy is, let's go. How do we get them to Polkadot? Let's go to Web 2 and bring these independent developers here and provide a community for them, which replaces marketing. Marketing is incredibly challenged because of regulatory changes like GDPR and IDFA. And this is like, a billions of dollar industry, gaming marketing. And so what can be the arbitrage to that? Creating real community. That's what drives engagement. So anyway, that's really our strategy. And one thing I wanted to add is the reason we're going after independence also is these AAA players in gaming, either in Japan and Asia, they already have their own blockchain, which they built over the last 5 or so years. And then in the Europe and Asia AAA space, we're not seeing them still. They're just not there. And they are interested in companies like Mythical. So I do think that if they do come to Web3, it'll be through something like Mythical. So again, it's just these independent, let me just go to this real quick. Independent game developers, I think, are the key. And this is what ultimately it's going to look like. I have this vision, and it's like our team, we can see the jigsaw puzzle on the table, and we can see pretty clearly some missing pieces. And so we need to put these tech pieces in place, which, and we're really excited to be meeting a lot of people in the Polkadot community to help us do that. And then we're going to be all content. And I can just tell you real quick, just to give you an example, this was the first experience in the .play bounty. And I don't have a pretty picture, but it is a game that is now number 3 in monetization on Roblox out of 40 million games. So I feel like we can evangelize this strategy and evangelize the ethos of Web3 and Polkadot to Web2 game developers, and at the same time make money, because the .play bounty, as I'm sure you all know, does revenue share deals, not equity deals. We help them build, and then we make money along the way for the Treasury.
Okay, hold on here. So you at the bottom here. Oh, wait. Can you go back?
Oh, do you want me to share my screen? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me just see here.
So you had what was worth $2.5 million worth of DOT to begin with, and you've been using it to publish games, supporting people also publishing games on big platforms like Roblox.
Yeah.
And at the bottom there, it said, our first large game project, which is confidential now, launched just before Christmas, returned 70% of the capital invested. So
we're now at 75.
75%. So 75% of the capital you put in to publish the game is returning. So does Dotplay have like recurring revenue, or what does that look like exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have put a lot of the money, or not a lot of, I don't know what the breakdown is off the top of my head, but we're putting some of the money into these tools, these jigsaw puzzle, these missing pieces, because we want to be able to say to the independent developer, here's how you build in Polkadot. So we need a few of those still.
Okay.
Having said that, what we really want to spend all of our time on is the content. And this one is by far our biggest bet. So, we put in about $440,000 to be exact. This is by far our biggest bet. Like I said, we have a little more than 300,000 back, and this is a perpetual deal. So, and this is a big IP. I'll say, well, I'll just say it. It's SpongeBob, but please, I won't say the name of the game, because I would kind of infringe on the problems. But anyway, or on the contracts. But the game is SpongeBob. It has SpongeBob in it. And we're going to be doing a lot of interesting things like bringing brands. Right now, we're really excited about bringing some soda brands, because there's a conveyor belt in the game with power-ups. All of those things we do for the game, if they generate revenues, we get a cut of those revenues, and then Polkadot, in terms of net revenues, Polkadot gets 80%.
Okay, so we have a SpongeBob game that we have some sort of revenue coming. What is the revenue, like the daily revenue or average? Do you know anything about that you can share?
It's around $3,000 a day right now.
$3,000 a day coming into the bounty.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, no, $3,000 is top line.
Yeah.
So that's gross. And so in game terms, game publisher terms. So think of .play bounty as a games publisher.
Right.
So not an investor, but an operating business where we actually, roll up our sleeves and we help them market. We bring them brands. We provide 3D asset generation tools like Sortium. We now, as of today, I'm really excited because Ilya, his screen name is Under. He's coming on to help us build 3D avatars for the Polkadot community.
Yeah.
So all these things we do, are costs. So it's really net revenues, but I would say it's the profitable business. So, you know, it's I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe it's $1,500 a day.
So
yeah.
SpongeBob under the sea, but dot play bounty, not underwater for long.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna. Yeah, I think it's the type of thing where we're gonna be able to pay back the Treasury within a year.
All right, that was a stretch. I just like to see Limo smile. Let's hear from Strindbergman.
No, I mean it's that's awesome, because the crazy thing is I didn't know this game, and but I wrote Angela yesterday, and I said I was playing this game because I know she's like into this platform that
no
we're
way.
playing on, and
Wait,
I wrote
thought
her,
you knew about the game.
No.
You just randomly texted me that?
It was random. So I said I played this SpongeBob game with my daughter. Have you heard of it? Because it's like the biggest thing on the platform right now, and the platform is the biggest platform.
That's crazy.
No, that was random.
I thought it was.
no
Have
idea.
you heard of it? Wink, wink.
No. So that's crazy. Okay, that's well done. Have to say that's very, very good work. Yeah,
it's a fun game.
All
I'm
right,
excited to be able to share. We'll have a party, a play party.
Thank you very much for the update, Angie. That's exciting stuff, and interested to see how all these puzzle pieces come together in the end as well. But thank you very much for doing that work. I think our first profit producing, or at least revenue producing bounty.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we're going to move on now. Thank you very much, Angie. To the title ref of the show, want to welcome, I believe it's Frank Porte to the show. This is a sponsorship hybrid driver for the Porsche Super Cup. Not 295,000 USDT. Currently no support, but not a lot of votes in right now. We do have just one DV, Saxonburg, on the nay side. But yeah, Frank, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Georgie as well. Hey, what's up, Georgie?
Hello, how are you? Maybe if I can start.
Okay.
So first I will present myself. I'm Georgie from Iber Labs, also known as the BD Spain and Andorra. So today I'm here with Frank, the driver and the key person on this proposal. So we will try to explain with more detail about this project. Before giving the floor to Frank, I want to make a brief into this proposal, explaining from where it's come and how it's reached to OpenGov. So since the last year, at Iber Labs, we have been working in Andorra and building relationship with clients and promoting Polkadot and this small country. That is where we meet Frank and know about his project. So we believe his initiative, it's a big potential, and not only in terms of visibility, but also in reinforce our relationship with the government and all these financial institutions that we are working actually in Andorra. So that is why we decide to help him to present this project. So initially, this project was presented to the marketing bounty, but was rejected because it was not just about marketing and combines visibility, marketing, business development, and strategy for Polkadot. So the recommendation from the marketing bounty was to submit it to OpenGov in order to all token holders could decide on this. Yeah. In my opinion, the proposal is bring a lot of value in terms of visibility, and also has an amazing value for money offer. But Frank will go into details about the races, but I would like to point out about Benelux race. It's a regional championship with a strong presence in Europe. While the Porsche Super Cup, it's ranked alongside Formula One with over 250 million viewers globally. So I think this is a very good position for Polkadot if this proposal was approved. And regarding the video opportunity and beyond the visibility, this proposal opened the door to a very exclusive networking area. The Porsche in Formula One hospitalities are spaces where we can connect with investors, business leaders, and yeah, finally we also will reinforce our relationship in Andorra. But I prefer to leave this part for the next Cosamarian program, where will I try to bring someone from the Andorran government or from some of the some financial institutions to tell on first hand how Polkadot is growing in this country. So now I will pass the word to Frank to explain with more detail about this sponsorship.
So hello everyone. First of all, thank you, Georgie, for letting me the word. Sorry if my English might not be perfect. I'm not used to speak English normally. So well, first of all, I present myself. I'm Frank Porte. I'm a racing driver. I'm 18-year-old. I'm 18 years old right now. I'm living in Andorra. And let's say on the motorsport world, I'm recognized as a hybrid racing driver. What does that mean? That means that I'm racing on the highest level on the real way of racing, but also on the virtual way, which is sim racing, which I'm racing on both categories actually, and I'm one of the few of the world. What's the goal of this proposal? So mainly it's to link blockchain technology with motorsport by also bringing a lot of visibility to the brand, and also another part that Georgie has talked about, that's in Andorra linked to the government projects there. So by linking Polkadot with elite sport, innovation, and technology, we want to achieve this objective. So let's talk about the championships in order so I can talk about the visibility. First of all, I'm racing on Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, which is a really important championship racing in Middle Europe, which are really good visibility already. But when we start talking about Porsche Mobile One Super Cup that I will be also competing on this season, it's nothing to be related in terms of numbers. So first of all, to context a little bit, Porsche Super Cup is the most important championship for Porsche. It's top level championship racing alongside with Formula One. And why is it interesting? Mainly due to racing alongside with Formula One. In terms of visibility, it's really impressive numbers that are bringing in terms to see the brand and brand exposure. So as Georgie said, over 250 million global viewers per season, 222 million euro on media value. Broadcast is worldwide, so that means that the live streaming of the races are more than 30 TV channels and F1 TV. So all of the branding of the car, race suit, and myself are appearing on Formula One Grand Prix weekends. And because of this, F1 level exposure for a fraction of level of the cost. Normally, in order to have all of this exposure, we are talking about millions and millions of dollars of investment. And for this sponsorship, we are talking for less than $200,000. It's not only about exposure online. We are also talking about on-site impact and brand activation. What does mean? All of the people that's coming to the most important tracks and legendary tracks of Europe, like Monaco, Monza, and Spa, are a lot of high net worth people, and there's a lot of opportunities on site for activations in the paddocks and fan zones in order to link Polkadot to this environment. So also our main objective is to link potential clients with Polkadot. We all know that Formula One and racing overall, it's all about money and politically talking things. So we know there's a lot of high net worth people in the paddocks, and we can do direct interaction with passionate high net worth audiences. Also, besides my racing career, I started growing my social media accounts by growing a community over 300,000 followers on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and everywhere. And this means that I can also bring Polkadot to the visibility of young community people that can be linked with blockchain and technology of target. It's basically target people of Polkadot.
All right.
And for blockchain overall. So some key points about this. Sorry.
Yeah, we're just at time there. It's an 8-minute slot here, but yeah, no, I think a good opening conversation here. Hey, when I was looking through your proposal, I didn't really see like a breakdown of the costs. So this is $295,000. Can you give a quick verbal breakdown of where that money goes? Yeah.
Overall, this is in order to pay for the championships, because I have to pay to the team and to pay for investment in order to run the cars, to do the trainings and everything. And normally it should be a lot more expensive than this. But I'm offering for this price to have on the Porsche Carrera Benelux to have a fully branded car. So let's say I'm wrapping fully the car of Polkadot, basically a pink car with all of the logos and as main sponsor, and also appearing on the Formula One Super Cup as also one of the main sponsors. We cannot wrap the full car because it's not on my own, the car.
Yeah.
But in terms of impact, we can offer all of this for this sponsorship proposal.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for introducing yourself and this idea to us today. I think if you come back, we'll have some time for discussion. It is an interesting proposal because we've had a lot of racing sponsorship discussions in the past. So you'll be very welcome back. But thanks for coming today.
Thank you. And I think this is a chance for Polkadot in order to start on the grid of elite technology and motorsport. So let's try to accelerate together into a historic season and try to push as maximum as possible.
Very good. Yes, in our Space Monkeys interview with VBrick, Paul did tell us about how high tech that industry is. Could be a good fit, but we'll have to see what voters think. Thanks very much, Frank. We're going to move on now to Ref 1497, revised proposal from the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, PBA Campus 7, the Jam Course launch, University Pilot, ongoing PBA X evolution, and a new alumni program. We had you up on the board previously for USDC spend, but you've come back with USDT and delivered over time. I think what is the delivery here? Over 4 months, this money is going to leave the Treasury. Welcome. There you are, Pauline. Hello. And I think Nikos is familiar with the matter as well. But Pauline, let's give you the floor. What's going on?
Thanks a lot, Jay. So I wanted first of all to thank the community for the support that we are receiving so far and for the warm welcome this revised proposal, as well as the previous one before, but especially this revised proposal is getting. So first of all, thank you to the community for their trust and alignment with the PBA. I wanted to take still the opportunity to come today to share a little bit about where we're at and where we're going for the next 8 months. So this proposal, the ambition of this proposal is to bring us till the end of the year so that we don't come back every 3 months with a new ask to the community and to OpenGov for running another wave. Before though sharing about all what we're doing, some of it is in the title of the proposal, but there is a lot more. I also wanted to address some maybe miscategorization or some maybe misconceptions about the PBA, or at least some elements for discussion, as we've got a lot of very constructive comments from the community, but want to use this opportunity to continue the conversation. The PBA has been sometimes, I'm going to say miscategorized as an educational event. And I think it's really important to discuss that, as we did start our journey in 2022 as a program running for 5 weeks in person, taking selected students who got a very rigorous selection exam, and taking them into an academic journey and insisting on academy versus vocational. And this program has been so successful that we've since repeated it twice yearly. But I want to argue that the PBA has become much more than a successful event, and that we're still true to Gav's vision when we launched 3 years ago, that we would attract the smartest people and the strongest talent by targeting Web2 developers and Web2 talented developers before they jump to blockchain or when they are just dabbling with blockchain technology, and bring them to Polkadot through education, not just through marketing and events, not just through, and you need to remember, this was a very different time 3 years ago, not just through fancy hacker houses and cool swags, but through investing in education. And this has proven to be extremely successful. And for the last 3 years, the PBA has become the biggest producer of talent for Polkadot. But still, even if we're still true to that mission, that we target Web2 talented developers and now also Web3 developers. And recently, as you know, we've launched in January an online education program, PBAX, targeting non-developers but blockchain enthusiasts. And we are hoping with this OpenGov to expand the panel of our educational product. It's still more than just a collection of events. The PBA is not just a collection of programs, it's not just a collection of events. We're gradually becoming a school. We're gradually becoming a community where students just don't come for a conference, even if it's the best academic conference and rigorous, they don't just come for a conference and leave. We actually have an active alumni community. Some of us are online today. We have a real community that pays forwards and contributes to Polkadot, be it through joining projects as developers or by founding their projects. And of course, there is churn. Every good university, every good school has churn. And it's actually, I think, a testimonial to of our academic rigor that not every student graduates. There is churn also. Some students decide afterwards that they can't find their right fit in the Polkadot ecosystem, so they leave the ecosystem, and we're working on that, on this specific audience of students, to try to find them the right place in the ecosystem or to support their nascent projects with the collaboration of the Web3 Foundation, for example, through grants and other follow-on programs. So we are really targeting this part of the churn. But we're really going gradually through those alumni-focused programs, those upskilling programs, those placement support, to creating a community, a panel of programs for developers, advanced developers that are coming to the PBA campus, developers early on in their journey with PBAX. More tracks are coming up. We started with the core devs, now we have the dApps. Soon we'll have the Jam course, building together to reflect the evolution of Jam and in collaboration, obviously, with the Jam implementers teams. So we are adding to our panel of projects, and we hope to have even more to target other audiences, and at some point to really being able to become a full school with graduate program, undergrad, covering different verticals, but still building on this idea that it's more than just an event that you come, consume content and go. Content became a community, and content is cheap. But what is expensive is to create a very high quality program, to have a loyal community that will continue and understand not only the benefits of Web3, but wants to invest and pay forward to this specific community and this ecosystem. And so far, we're really proud of the impact we have. And we are thankful to the community as we are really building that together, collaborating not only since the beginning, obviously, with the Web3 Foundation, Parity Technologies, but more and more with the DBs, with the Ambassador Collective, with, we hope, other institutions. I don't want to release yet the names of the programs we're building, but with a lot more groups in the community. So I wanted to extend a very big thank you, and obviously open for comment and question for our next OpenGov project that I hope you'll continue to support, but already wanted to extend a really big thank you because the community has shaped the PBA to what it is and allowed us to contribute to produce talent for Polkadot.
All right, a strong presentation on the value of PBA here. So far, 100% in favor with 56.52 million votes on the I side. Looking pretty good there. Okay, so just to a little more specifically address some of this this constructive criticism, what I've been hearing, and maybe we could address it directly, is there's some worry, and even on the show a few weeks ago, Funky, you expressed this a little bit. The question is of scope, and how big is the scope of PBA going to get in the future? who bears the burden of the ongoing costs? There was some talk of PBA costs becoming less because of PBAX, but then more programs get added. Maybe you could address that directly.
Of course, that's a great question. So our costs per students are actually staying stable, but it's true we're taking on more. Unfortunately, we are collectively, and I think it's a big conversation also for Polkadot as a community. We are close to, or we are at risk of exhausting our pipeline of new developers. And we are a few entities in the ecosystem are talking together. What can we do in terms of outreach? What can we, PBA, do in terms of education to bring new talents in? And so this has been a driver for us. Of course, there is that, and we're very proud of this, so don't take it wrong, but there is this vanity metrics, some will say, or just a quality metrics also would argue that in every event of the ecosystem, we see a lot of PBA alumni. Every decentralized sports project had some alumni. Every decentralized future grant, technical grant of the Web3 Foundation, new founders are coming. We can quote a lot of our projects, and we are really proud of where they are today, as well as obviously very grateful to our faculty that is coming from the ecosystem. But it's becoming harder and harder to produce or to bring new talent into the ecosystem. I'm not talking about training them, but attracting people into Polkadot. And so we are continuing to do that, and we are targeting, that's why we're actually developing more intro-level programs, because we can't just think that every advanced, very senior developers is currently knocking at the door trying to find solutions to learn about Polkadot. And it's not the responsibility of the PBA alone to do outreach and branding for the whole community, but it's our responsibility to train. So we took on this additional task of trying to bring more interest into the Polkadot community by also training blockchain enthusiasts, by training non-developers, by going also deeper into those gateway programs that we hope will bring us the founders, the associates, the investors, and expand our community as a whole. So yes, we're taking a much bigger space. We're becoming really an education powerhouse, but we hope that we are also contributing not only to produce technical talent, but to grow our community altogether.
All right. We're quite a bit past time here now, but thank you for addressing that. It's a great platform to just take things head on, and I really appreciate that, Pauline. We're going to be bringing the Coos there in we're going to come in a few weeks, so we're going to be live streaming some epic panels, I think. Surprise guests. It's going to be incredible. But yeah, thanks very much for coming in and talking about the value of the PBA today.
Thanks a lot.
All righty, we're going to move on to our last presentation of the day. This is a surprise presentation. It's the renewal of Treasury USDT and USDC acquisition. We talked about this a little bit before, but here it is live. 88.5% in favor. Not a lot of votes on the table yet, though. This is for 5,001,000 DOT, and if I understand this correctly, this is all going to be dumped into hydration, converted to a DOT, and then that is going to be DCA'd over 12 months by selling equal amounts of DOT into USDT and USDC. Is that correct there, Lee?
Yeah, pretty much. So there's a difference this time compared to last time. Is this like a DOT step? So a DOT is basically DOT that's in the money market. It gets yield. It is safe because the amount of DOT that can be borrowed compared to the amount that can be supplied is not 100%. There will always be room to withdraw the DOT. Even if it got close to capacity, the APY on like the DOT borrowing would be insane and people would pay it back. This, like you said, sells a fixed amount of DOT. It's 2.5 million DOT into USDT, 2.5 million of DOT into USDC. Kind of needed. We're running out of stablecoins. As much as the people on the Poke Assembly thread tell you this is something that people actually wanted, and I don't personally benefit from this as much as they want to tell you in the comments.
Well, I don't believe that at all, but okay.
Yeah, I'm actually making it all off the top. It's crazy.
So the APY from supplying DOT is going to be folded right into the DCA?
Yeah, as far as I know. So this was created by the hydration team, the call for all of this. It's all tested and works. I think we said this on the Monday show as well. So this adds a rolling DCA. So it would be possible for the Treasury to pay some dot to a multi-sig. That multi-sig XCMs at hydration, tops this account up. This account then would keep the DCA going, which saves as a root ref. There's also some discussions with the fellowship about if it's possible to allow like the treasurer track to do XCM calls. So we don't need to use root every 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And I think maybe you could clear this up for me. The intention was to do the opposite, the fixed USDC, but this ended up fixed dot again, which is the same as the current DCA we have going on. But maybe there's another DCA coming up in the future that would be opposite, or are we just scrapping that idea of fixed dot and fixed USDC?
Yeah, I think this is something that was lost in all of the group chats and stuff, which is why we tried to make a consolidated one, because I could tell this was all over different group chats. So yeah, this is the fixed dot. When the current fixed dot one runs out, which I'm sure is reasonably soon, I believe, then we should just do that one as the fixed amount of stable coins, probably.
Okay, nice. Yeah. All right, anybody have any questions about this? Gonna acquire a few dozen million worth of stable coins over the next 12 months. All right, sounds good. All right, so that ends the presentations this week, but that brings us to a big news this morning. Woke up and saw Cohort 4 was announced. These are the groups, the DAOs, some familiar, some brand new, that will be receiving delegation from the Web3 Foundation. Same delegation as before. Is that right, Bill? Same amount?
Yeah, that's correct. Same amounts.
Okay. All right. So we have,
and once again on Polkadot and Kusama.
Okay, nice. So we have Hungarian DAO, the Gem Implementers DAO, Kus DAO, Permanence DAO, Polka World, and Trustless Core. Lots of chatter about this online. Where do you even want to begin here, Bill?
So I guess I'll just sort of explain the thought process, and then I'm happy to. I've definitely received a lot of comments, both positive and negative. I think most of the public comments have been negative, but I've received, privately both. So of course, as soon as I get on, it's when my phone starts ringing. Apologies. So first off, really want to congratulate everyone that's been in Cohort 3. I think Cohort 3 really was an absolutely amazing cohort. So one of the things that we've really changed a little bit, like I said, is what we're trying to do, with decentralized voices, and that's more what we originally wanted to do, which was get more people involved in governance and different DAOs, and so. Definitely a bit of a mix-up, and I want to really state for the record, and I just said this not that long ago. I don't want anyone to think that because they weren't selected for this cohort that it's anything bad against them. We really saw like some amazing DAOs. We've seen people that have done like some amazing work, and I will say here. Just absolutely for the record, I am incredibly impressed with Chaos DAO. I am incredibly impressed with Saxonburg, even though they weren't selected in this cohort. We did have there's some people here, and I know that there are some people had something to say about the various DAOs that were selected. I'll say one that we wanted to make sure that we were continuing to support DAOs and other groups, and not any individuals. So that obviously reduces the number that we have. And no matter what we do, there is no perfect solution to this. And I'm not trying to say that this was the perfect solution and everybody should be happy. I know you all have feedback. I'm sure people think we could have done things differently, but there also is, I think, no way of doing this where everyone is going to be happy. And so decisions had to be made. That's sort of the rundown, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do in Cohort 4.
All righty, Spencer. Hey,
what's going on? Thank you, Bill, by the way, for being part of the decision-making process and believing in Permanence DAO. I just want to say thank you on behalf of Permanence. And we'll try not to be too grumpy in our deliberations. But I was just wondering, is there any plan to maybe create like more voices in future rounds, like where instead of a 6 million, it's maybe like a 2 million, and you have more folks spread out?
Yes, so that's a very good question. So just to give a little bit of like sort of inside baseball, we do have a certain amount allocated for that we can use as Web3 Foundation funds and DOT for this. So we have the problem is like the more people we have, actually the more complicated it gets, and it's actually sort of a non-linear process. Now that we do have Karam, who I believe is in this call, who is someone that can like help focus more. He just joined Web3 Foundation about a month ago. Now that we've had this, we can have either there's multiple ways that decentralized voices can go, looking forward. But now that we have more resources, this was always decentralized voices was always a tiny part. A small part of my time. I have a lot of other responsibilities. Now that we have a someone who can focus on on-chain governance, one of the things that we've been thinking about is increasing the number of decentralized voices. Another thing that's an idea is either reducing or increasing the size of the allocation. That's more difficult. Another thing is possibly removing decentralized voices altogether. So there's definitely I think a lot of room, and this is something I want to communicate or get feedback from the community. I think things have changed a lot since decentralized voices started. And I do want to see what is the best path forward. And it's not that what we have right now is perfect. We know it's not perfect, and it should evolve. And so it could evolve in several different ways. And one of them is reducing or even eliminating the amount that's given to decentralized voices delegates. Another thing is actually giving semi-permanent positions in the next cohort, so that this would be a much smaller amount, and say that, all right, you now are permanently, Web3 Foundation has trusted you. So again, there's lots of different things that could go forward, but I will definitely bring that up with the community before we make any decisions on that and get feedback. You're probably right here on AAG.
Oh, I had also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
Let's move on to Ryan.
It's fine if Spencer had another thought or whatever. I just wanted to give more thought. Go ahead, Spencer.
I was just gonna say real quick. I thought like mini DV is also a really cool idea, where you give like a small delegation, but it sort of like prepares you for like in the training process to kind of get used to some of the practices or something. That could be really cool.
Yeah. The minor leagues,
yeah, or major leagues, but just like half bench, not full game. And I don't know sports. What am I talking about?
Funkatron.
I wanted to give a more nuanced take on some positions that I had in my conversations with Karam. So, he reached out. I'm sure he talked to all the DVs, and I was probably one of those mid-curvers who talked about term limits in the conversation with him. Now, I specifically said, and this is where if there were mid-term limits, I said I think a DV should serve for roughly a year, which would be 3 cohorts. So that there's room for other groups to participate at this level. I also talked about, to Spence's point, having more DVs, spread across maybe 10 groups. I think it was good insofar as the new clarification around having groups that have less DOT, right? Because some groups continue to amass DOT and delegations. And I think that's probably the better approach, right? Like look at Cast DAO, the success that it has had, where now it basically swings like a DV vote in and of itself without the DV delegation. So I think that's all props to Cast DAO and the work they've been doing, and Limo in particular, because he has spearheaded virtually all these efforts in OpenGov. So big shout out to Limo. The other thing I was going to say, however, and this was not part of the conversation, and in the Florida legislature, and I'm going to use this as a real world example, I don't think even if there are term limits that you should be precluded from coming back. In the Florida legislature, what happens is if you go through 2 terms in the House and 2 terms in the Senate, then you're subject to term limits. However, if you sit out for, I forget, it either might be 1 session of the legislature or a full year, I don't remember the exact, you basically are allowed to run again and you can come back into office. So I think a system like that is something that's also worthy of discussion, because, you know, we may see through this experimentation that not all DVs are going to do the good job, right? Like, I mean, you just look at the Dune dashboard and the data tells you everything you need to know. Some DVs are very good at keeping up with it. Some are terrible. So just something food for thought.
All right, let's hear from Strind.
Yeah, no, I think I was surprised by some nominations, and some like wasn't very logical, right? And like I've talked to Spencer and the guys at Permanence DAO, they made some changes which I think made them a better choice than they were before. So I think it's nice that people can like adapt. I was going to speak from someone who's put through a lot of proposals and worked in open governance a lot. I mean, I've been very successful before DVs and after DVs, right? So when people come to open governance, I mean, DVs is one part of it, but you need to have a good proposal and you need to have a good value add for Polkadot. If you have that in the environment, it doesn't really matter, because if you can convince people that you are bringing something of value to Polkadot, you will have success. Doesn't matter about like who's got DV and so on. That's just my take on it. I'm in Chaos DAO, of course, and I love for them to have DV, but like it's one part of the ecosystem. The other part, if you come to open governance, have a good proposal. That's your job, right? So no matter what it looks like, I think like do the job, talk to people. And that will be the same with these DVs or any future DVs.
All right, let's hear from Lorena, and let's try to be concise. Lorena, go ahead.
Thank you. No, related what the previous speaker mentioned, I would like to add, related with new rules, it's about overlapping votes, okay? For me, it's very important that if you are part of a DAO, you cannot vote in other DAO. And we should clarify that point, because if not, we can have this duplicate vote. We already saw in previous DV. So for me, this is a good point that we should include in the rules to avoid any discussion or to avoid any comment, as we already saw in forum.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I didn't, while we're trying to spread this out to as many people as possible, I didn't want to put any specific rules that we weren't going to try to enforce. And I'm not going to be doing like forensic analysis. I know there's a lot of anonymous people out there. We just don't have the capability, right, to spend resources on that. So, but I see your point.
Nikos.
Yeah, very fast. I just want to say that I don't fully agree with the whole term situation that is going on. I mean, if a DAO is doing a good job, and I mean in some of the DAOs, if a DAO is doing a good job, it doesn't mean that you got the terms, you have to get out now and somebody else will try. I would suggest, and that's just my personal opinion, that if a DAO is doing a good job, be a DV, and if another DAO seems that they have the benefit to become a good DAO, then add them in the DV list, as long as you're anyway planning to reduce the amount that the DAOs are getting and expand the amount of DAOs that are inside the DV program. So that's my suggestion. I don't think that a terms policy should be, because you're actually removing some good DAOs of supporting the Polkadot ecosystem and the referendums that actually are money that we all pay from our own pockets for something to become to grow into the ecosystem.
And really quick, I know we're in a rush, but like I don't see this as someone getting kicked out, right? That they just that there's not an ongoing thing. It's individual cohorts, and we're making decisions, right? And this was, actually the original idea was that you would only be able to serve for one term. And this actually was, we had talks actually with several members from Chaos DAO who said we should be able to do things for multiple terms, and I think that makes sense, or removed, whatever. But it's not, these are individual decisions and cohorts.
I'm just referring
just to
it
clarify.
as...
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify, I didn't say kick out. I said removed for the next cohort. That's all I wanted to clarify. Sorry about.
I think the word is executed. Limo.
Hey, so before I begin. So there's lots of people in these DAOs, and a lot of them have different opinions on how stuff's handled. So some people are emotional, some people are not. So that's something. So to quickly expand on something that Funky said about like the success of Chaos DAO having more delegations. So this is something that I brought up to Web3 Foundation people, and I think this has been clarified now because there was a lot of talk of like you can be graduated from the program or something. So I've been clarified that is not the case, which is good. Because if it was the case that if you managed to acquire delegations that you then were not able to apply for DV, then at least personally, I know exactly what I would do. I would tell all of my delegation people to redelegate to a new peer proxy called something else, and then I would apply for DV under Chaos DAO or like another DAO or whatever, right? So it would be good to like get that 100% clarified that there's no like punishment for being successful. Because if there was, you just try and game the system like constantly.
No. There definitely is not any sort of punishment for being successful. So I think I know the conversation to which you're referring to, and I was just saying that under the 1KV rule, the old 1KV rules, and the decentralized nodes rules, once you have achieved enough delegation or nominations rather, outside decentralized nodes, then you are graduated. And I was just saying that. We are not, there was this idea that, all right, yes, decentralized nodes decentralized voices was sort of inspired by 1KV, and they are not the same though, right? So we do want to, if you are good, one of the reasons people do this is so they can get more delegations. You're not going to be punished for that.
All right, Kukabi, who's part of Permanence DAO.
Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to thank you, say thank you to Web3 Foundation, Bill, Karam, and everyone on the committee and the teams, Web3 Foundation teams, for delegating us. And we'll do our best to push things forward. And again, I'd like to thank all previous delegates, the KUS DAO, Chaos DAO, Saxamerc, Hungarian DAO, Lunexus, Lucky Friday for their amazing job. So it's the new cohort's turn now to push things forward and work hard to take OpenGov to the next level. So I hope we won't disappoint, and we are completely open to working with all DAOs, all members of all DAOs. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a packed 4 months. Thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
Nice. Thanks, Kukabi. Yeah, back to Lorena.
Yes, sorry, I didn't mention that I'm part of Trustless DAO, and I have been selected with the DAO. So to clarify, thank you, Web3 Foundation. Yes, I always participate and by myself, and now I'm part of Trustless DAO. We are many people from LATAM, from Latin America, and that joined to this DAO. So we will try to do our best and participate and vote in every proposal.
Great. Spence?
One of the things that I really appreciate, I've said this I think a couple of times on the AAG, but I just love it when DVs have a resource to jump on a call and get feedback directly. I think that should just be a prerequisite. I mean, I know you can't enforce it, Bill, but it is so nice. Hungry DAO last time, I hit him up about a proposal I was doing, super responsive. They got back to me. Obviously, I found their information through their profile on Poke Assembly, and I don't know, it was just a good experience. They gave me the time of day. Nobody's busy enough that they can't take 15 minutes at least to hear someone's proposal out, and have a format where that's. I mean, we do that at Permanence. I mean, I think we invite people on, but we're also open to people hitting us up. It's just a really great way to get, to Strin's point of it's on you to bring a good proposal together. Some people have good ideas, but they just need a little bit of shaping. And I've found the most success in the things that we've done with PMEI by getting feedback from people. So it's, if that's not a resource, then the proposals are going to stagnate, and everybody's got to start somewhere. And I think that's just a really important thing to call out, and encourage people to do. Just the same way that Jay had created a format for the AAG, people now do community calls, and it feels sort of like a mini AAG, right? Like someone's got to set the precedent, set the tone, set the format, and then people should try and, I think, adopt the things that are working. So that's all I have to really say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I agreed. I think it's a great idea. We can't just all only do text via Polk assembly, right? So.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spencer. Okay, just to wrap up here, I want to give a chance for you, Bill, to address. There's two choices in particular that I want to give you the floor to address here, just that I've seen this morning. One is regarding Poker World, which personally I really appreciate all the people over there. But it's been brought up that last time they were DV, they were under 40% participation. I want to give you a chance to talk about what you see is different this time, and explain a little bit about why they were selected for those wondering.
Yeah, no, great. It's a great question. So definitely they were amongst the sort of the least involved. And when they applied again, so Karam actually, had a discussion with them, and to make sure that like they understood that what they were doing before, like that was simply not enough. So I also want to say, like, anyone that was delegated for Decentralized Voices can also be undelegated from Decentralized Voices. And so it should be understood for everyone, if you're not doing what you say that you're going to do, and that you're meeting the minimum requirements, that you're not going to be able to continue. And that obviously makes a difference, especially now when there actually is like funding available if you do everything that you need to do for Decentralized Voices, right? There's the 3,500 dot. So as to why they were chosen, so they have done quite a bit of work that I think often is not seen or represented in the Chinese community. They provide a really good what's the word? Outlet's not the right word, but a window on what's happening in the Chinese community, which is something that is really important and something we're missing, and something that we want to encourage, right? So actually something I was talking with, and I can't remember who, but somebody from China who had said that like voting is not really a big thing in the culture. And so one thing that we need to do is we're trying to help bring that along. But again, we did have talks with them to make sure they understand that they have to contribute more than they had in their first cohort.
Okay, thanks a lot. The other one that's been getting some heat is, what is it? Jam Implementers DAO. Some talk of them just basically spun up a DAO just to apply, and then got in. What do you think about that?
So this is true, right? Their DAO, like I wouldn't say they spun up the DAO just to apply, but there already was a Jam Implementers group, and but the sort of the rules for how things were going to decisions were going to be made were quite fuzzy. That said, the people involved in the Jam Implementers DAO, it's hard to say for some reason, or the people in the JID, let's say. So the people in the JID, we actually, I know, Karam actually, had a long discussion with them about like what procedures were going to be in place, determining, talking with other people that had joined, that said they were going to join the DAO, about how often they would be able to vote, what sort of procedures they would be using internally to vote, that, what they said that we ended up like being like they thought of essentially 6 to 8 people from this from this already, again, there already is a group. It wasn't a DAO, but there is like a Telegram group, these Jam implementers together. So we were, our concerns were assuaged that like, yes, this is a little bit different, right? It's not a DAO that's been around for years, but we thought that having these like very deeply technical people is also something that's sort of missing in terms of, again, one of the things we're trying to do is get more representation from different groups. And we thought that it was worthwhile. Now, that said, for all of these, right, like there is a chance that there will be problems with these or it's suboptimal. This is one of the reasons we have these 4-month cohorts. So yes, if we expect there are going to be some mistakes, people that don't work out always. If we only just said, all right, we're going to do people that were DAOs that we're 100% sure of, then we're going to have a very restricted and non-growing governance system. And so, like, yes, we are doing things we're doing like due diligence to make sure that that these groups understand what they need to do in order to stay part. But we definitely are, taking some risks in growing and bringing in more people that haven't traditionally participated as much in governance.
Gotcha. All right, Kakabi had one more comment.
Regarding JID, I think in their forum post for application, they stated that they would be willing to utilize a fork or clone of the permanent style infrastructure. And it consists of the bits we developed for ourselves and then OpenSquare as well. So we use a combination of those, and then we have voting policies. So we'll provide them with full support for deployment of the software and everything. So their technical infrastructure is covered, although they are very strong technical people already, and they shouldn't have any problem with developing it themselves. But they won't be starting from scratch if they want to, as reported in their application, decide to use our infrastructure. They'll use a clone of it, basically. We'll support them.
All right.
And I think I personally find it a very smart decision to incorporate their decisions in OpenGov because Jam is coming soon. So I think their perspective is really important at this point.
No doubt about it. All right, just to end here, I'll speak on behalf of KuSTAO and say we're also excited to be part of this cohort. And we put the link to join our Discord in the chat there. If you don't know, the whole point of KuSTAO is to really onboard people into the OpenGov experience and distribute the burden of governance in OpenGov onto as many verified people as possible. All the votes and all the discussions are totally open, and you can participate even without registering with the DAO. So that link is in the chat there. Bill, Karam, thanks for this epic lift, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes between now and August.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Many apologies needed to the boys at Heroic. Sorry, guys. I just go by my tabs here. I didn't have something up for you guys, so I just missed you. I'm really sorry. But thanks for the epic work you've done under your current contract with OpenGov. What has brought you to AAG today?
Well, first of all, just to open up while I'm sharing the screen, I have to preface this. The tone of what we're about to talk about is dramatically different to what you guys have just talked about. So probably lower your brain cells a little bit. Kim, do you want to introduce us a little bit?
Yeah, thanks, Jay. And hey, from Oslo, it's your favorite esports team. We are doing the quarterly check-in as another quarter has gone by. So just going to talk about some general updates on the process of the partnership deliverables, some campaign highlights. We also have some exciting recent news. And at the end, we're going to share a little bit about what's up for the next and final quarter of this sponsorship.
Cool.
Yep.
I'll run us through it. Don't want to waste too much of everyone's time. Just a little bit of similar to what we did last time, just a bit of a check-in so you guys see transparently where we're at with the partnership, what's upcoming, ongoing, and what's being completed. So from a merch perspective, we supported the event in Warsaw with Polkadot Polish guys. We sent over some stuff. Looked like the stall looked really cool, and some Inter Miami stuff there as well, which was nice. In terms of what's upcoming, we'll go a little bit more into detail at the end, but we've completed some business development working group stuff that's been ongoing for the last little while. We've done a bunch of work again on the giveaway stuff and behind the scenes on some extracurricular stuff outside the partnership with some people in the community such as Distractive and likes. We've got some stuff which we'll talk about again. I guess the big highlight from this quarter was the recent marketing campaign we did around the Polkadot map, which I hope most of you have seen or potentially played. We've actually just about to distribute the prizes for that, all new wallet creation and new users of Polkadot, of course. And so we will talk a little bit more details on the numbers of that. But overall, we're in a really good position. We have still a bit to do, but we're well on track with where we are. And I think we've done some very, very stupid stuff in the last quarter, as we normally do. From a numbers perspective, just again, to keep up the transparency, we've been doing very well. So we've kept up our socials numbers, going viral on TikTok a lot recently, if you check out our TikTok. So far with Polkadot, to date, our impressions are about 100 million. So that's spread across tournament impressions, with you guys being on the jersey for our players in CS and Dota, and then also social media across various campaigns. We've now completed 3, one of them being physical events, online, videos, maps, everything. We've kind of accumulated all of this. Engagement's really high. We're really happy with how that's looked, and we've kind of given a nice spread across the different media formats that you guys have been on. You guys are in a game now, which is pretty cool, and you're in the best game ever made, which is excellent. From a sentiment perspective, I think we've managed to keep up where we are in terms of the Polkadot community, but also in the esports community. I mean, you've seen how many proposals in the last 2 months. You're welcome for that. We're sorry also for how much impact we keep making. But we've had a bunch of feedback from the esports industry generally, people saying that our map was really cool, actually reaching out to us to see can we support other maps being created. And additionally, just the stupid content that we're doing. We now have people that know what Polkadot is because of our crazy videos. So I know the Polkadot Blockchain Academy guys are on here. We've given some of our videos for those guys to be used whenever they're wanted, and we'll keep up with those guys. So anyone that wants to learn in the most diet educational way possible through our videos, they're welcome to do so through the videos. But all of this, I think, Daniel, you probably put the link in the chat for reporting. This will be up in the publicly available reporting drive. Anyone can go check out these numbers and have a look at everything to date. We'll keep things moving though. As I said, we'll talk a little bit more about the custom map activation. Here's a nice snapshot of how things have looked. So we had 85,000 downloads for this map. It was one of the top maps over a period in all of Steam Workshop for Counter-Strike. So we had a bunch of people playing. We added a community element where we had hashtag aimdots. It's a play on words for those that don't know. Aimbots is probably the most popular workshop map, and so we went for aimdots. It's effectively an aim challenge where you run through as fast as you can and click heads and try to get through. At the end, you're presented with a nice QR code for Polkadot onboarding as well. Simultaneously across socials with our team, we had all of our actual professional players play on the map and record their trials. And then we had a couple world record attempts for people who can get the fastest attempt, with $2,000 worth of DOT being up for grabs. And of course, we had an exciting video to announce it all with Chad, as you can see up there, and a couple of faces I recognize here that featured in the video. Thanks to all the community members that stopped by and were in the video. I hope it turned out as you expected. Really, really happy with this campaign. I think it was good fun. We made it accessible for new players, so we've got new people playing Counter-Strike, but also our community and our existing esports audience want to have a bit of fun with the actual map itself. I'll throw over to Kim for some of the exciting updates on kind of the business front.
Yeah, so last week it was announced that we were selected as one of 40 globally renowned teams to join the Esports World Cup Foundation Club Partner Program. About a few hundred applicants where the 40 best were selected. And the selection criteria were on the one side, a consistent esports performance, but as well as having marketing and fan engagement capabilities. So this puts us in the top elite among the likes of FaZe, Vitality, and others, really substantiating our position as a top esports team. For Polkadot, this is primarily a marketing partnership, so this will be more visibility and content during the biggest tournament circuit of the year with about $40 million US prize pool. But we're also looking to do activation and acquisition opportunities as part of our EWC pitch. So we have some ideas on how we want to activate Polkadot as part of this program as well.
Yeah, so it's exciting news. We're the best team in the world. It's official, and the Esports Foundation have officially said that. A little bit of a different update, just some collaborative stuff. So just to put some disclaimer out there, this is outside of the scope of the partnership. But I guess some of the feedback that we've got from the community, our partnership is brand awareness, right? We want to make Polkadot the most well-known blockchain in esports. And to many extents, we've done that. We've obviously with all the proposals, all the videos, everything that you've seen. But I think a lot of feedback has been that acquisition is important. We want to onboard these users that we're reaching. And so we've teamed up with the Distractive guys, and this has been a little project behind the scenes. This website is now live, polkadot.com/heroic. This is now our landing page, and I want to give a bit of information about where this is going. This is step one. Step two is a custom-built onboarding experience where we will push all of our audience and community members over towards Polkadot directly with incentives. We've got a bunch of merch. We've got some special limited edition items that we haven't announced yet that we're going to be pushing on through this as well. Effectively, this is what we're going to push to our audience now. We're going to have a hub where they can learn about Polkadot and our partnership specifically, see everything that we've done to date. You can see our maps on there, a beautiful picture of you, Kim, is up there with a nice big quote. And so we basically want to push something towards people. This is super exciting. We're on the website, so we're pretty official now. And the onboarding experience is being worked on with the Distracted guys. Credit where it's due. They've been excellent partners to work with on this. I'll keep going just on the last minute. I see Funky saying that we've got limited time. Just a little bit on what's upcoming in the next quarter. So again, working with some community members, we've got the community tournament next month. We'll be doing some announcements for this, and how we'll push it is a special way. This will be part of our onboarding experience as well. It's been delayed a little bit, if you'll note, from it was supposed to be in March. We wanted to effectively acquire users with this, and so we've got a special pathway for this. We've got some cool limited edition items coming. So I don't want to tell you what that is yet, but there's some stuff upcoming. And then we have our fourth campaign where we're going to hopefully work with some interesting parties, including the Polkadot app people in the US, for an activation in the Austin, Texas Major, which is the World Cup for Counter-Strike. It's a very, very big detail. I guess I probably shouldn't say our brand team will kill us, but we also, in the next couple of weeks, will be announcing a brand new jersey, which we will have lots of things to give away. I see Limo quick swapped his jersey that he was wearing, so we'll have to get you a new one when that's out. I'm impressed, Limo, that was quick. But that's exciting stuff. Anything else on upcoming that you want to talk about, or anything that we've got for the next little while?
I think we're going into the last quarter, and we, like you've been mentioning a couple of times, we have seen all the proposals from competing teams, and we've also received a lot of inbound feedback about the extension. So this is something we'll explore going into the next quarter. But yeah, any questions at the end? I think we're on time-ish.
We try our best.
All right. Dang, nice work, guys. Thanks a lot for the update. Do we have any questions or comments from the panel? No? Look at all those jerseys out there. That's nice. Hey, the Coos is in possession of some of these jerseys, but we haven't quite found the opportunity to give these away yet. Should we do maybe a giveaway with your audience or something like that? Like follow the Coos or something like this? What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah?
Let's follow up on Twitter. Let's get it done.
Okay, let's get it done. That's thanks to Strain. You handed me those a few months ago. Sorry,
Nice.
I've lollygagged on that. But yeah, okay, sounds cool. We
Cool.
happy?
Limo's wearing the right jersey, so I think he's happy.
Yeah, this looks good on you, Lee.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, we're gonna now we're about to get into House of Shame, and yeah, we're gonna talk about that. What's that, Lee? Oh, you don't know which one it is. Well, I got
I remember that.
886. I got something else to talk about first if you want to check it out, because it's a painful one to talk about. But I did want to say that, it's not all just hating on ourselves for being idiots in the past. It's also about improving. And if you haven't been paying attention to the Monday show, we have launched a request for proposal that talked about for a long time. And here we have it, everybody. Some bounties have been doing requests for proposals, pretty cool. I think this is the first one in OpenGov, and we've pulled it off, a $50,000 total prize for deploying ZK EVM contracts that make something like Tornado Cash on Kusama. This is live now, so if you go to Ref 509 on Kusama and you click over here to apply for this prize, please fill out this form. If you click that form, you can apply now. And yeah, I think we have 4 weeks basically to submit. And if the supervisors, the curators, don't pick a team, hold on, some bird activity on my roof. If they don't pick a team, we'll return the funds. They will return the funds back to the Treasury. So this is pretty cool if you check it out. And there's already another RFP on the way, actually. There is, the RFP is going to be to build an RFP launcher. So we had quite a time putting this out there, Limo, but somebody, or we're hoping somebody will step up and automate that, make that whole process into a nice UI. Might already be somebody working on it. But that's very exciting. So this is money set aside and governed by supervisors to pay out when milestones are met. This is a totally different situation than doing something like giving out 98,000 DOT up front, which brings us to House of Shame, Kampala productizing proposal redux. Very painful. The Alzmologist team have been major contributors to the Polkadot ecosystem. In fact, working out the whole ledger situation where the whole Polkadot apps, every parachain, every rollup on Polkadot had their own app. It was a huge mess. They were able to work with Zondax to create a unified Polkadot app. They helped a lot there. We also had a member of the team on Space Monkeys. They did a great episode about security, former head of security at Parity. And here they came with looking for funds to create a product out of this demo device that was basically a really sick hardware wallet, just fit for the purpose of Polkadot ecosystem. I have mine somewhere here. I might grab it if somebody else takes the mic. But they initially submitted this proposal for, let's see what it was, 134,000 DOT. The DAO didn't like that, only 34% in favor. They came back with a modest 97.92 thousand DOT, and that did go through. This was worth 565,000 pounds at the time, but the time has elapsed. We haven't heard any updates from the team. OG Tracker hasn't been able to get in track of them. I haven't been able to get in touch with them, and until we hear otherwise, this looks like lost funds. Yeah, so that's the story there. What do we have to say about this one? What could have been different? What went wrong?
It's one of them ones where there is some level of social capital, which is quite interesting.
Lots, yeah.
Kirill is responsive to me, at least, when I've wrote to him recently.
No way.
So it could be something where I can try and ask him.
Mm-hmm.
I met another member of the Alzheimer's team at ETH Denver. So it could be something we need to, maybe it's they don't reply to Chris Papp.
Or me.
Oh, you, I mean, who replies to you, Jay? I mean, who's Jay? Like, you know. But I can try and reach out to them to see what the progress is.
Anything we could have done to avoid this situation altogether?
Is this for all of the 4 milestones? It could be.
Yeah.
You know,
this was for 4 milestones. Yeah.
So it could be milestone 1 up front, and then the other ones are scheduled payments. It could be
scheduled payments. Nice.
In some multi-sig that pays them out when they complete it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with scheduled payments is, so let's say that milestone 1 is immediate and milestone 2 is after 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might not know that milestone 1 has been completed, right? So let's say it's 2 months in, and we're like, hey, is milestone 1 being completed yet? And they're like, don't reply, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it takes like quite a long time to get cancel, like a referendum that would cancel that scheduled payment out.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But then you could at least definitely cancel 3 and 4. You could do a utility force batch that would do the 3 and 4 cancel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say this is something that I'd say to Poke Assembly and to Subsquare. Please add scheduled payments into UIs. It's really easy. I've had to tell multiple teams how to do scheduled payments now. It's obviously something people want. You're getting paid by the Treasury. You should look at what people are doing. And if people want scheduled payments, it's really easy. I can help you with the extrinsics if you want to understand how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy. You could probably even do a little converter that's like this day, and it just generates a block on that day as the scheduled payment date. Probably quite easy. Probably takes like less than a week to implement. Pretty nice.
Yeah, that could help. All right. Okay, so the suggestions there were maybe a multi-sig or a bounty that paid out with milestones, maybe scheduled payments. This could have all helped here, but unfortunate to see the situation. I do hope we hear from them. Limo, didn't realize you had contacts. That could be good. Yeah, Jose.
Yeah, this is a good example of, like how to lose really fast all the social capital that you have built over your career, right? I mean, we all trust in these people and in their reputation, and some of that vote was like based on that, right? So along with basically you're having the hardware wallet coming into the ecosystem, right, competing with Ledger. So it's like there was value on it, right? Or it's just really sad to see this happening to the ecosystem again and again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, well, that's why we're here. I mean, just highlighting the issue is step 1. Step 1, admit you have a problem. Our problem is just giving up money to taking on all the risk and giving up money. Now look at this. Saxonberg just posted this a couple hours ago in the forums. Wanted bounty hunters for undelivered referenda. Let's take a look at the text here. Due to OpenGov's diligence, undelivered and red flagged referenda still remain a low percentage of the cases. But we'd like to open the discussion about what we think is an alternative for undelivered referenda, which is inspired by the bug bounties program offered by many entities. This is an incentivization to those who return lost funds to the Treasury. They're suggesting a 5 to 10% finder's fee to those who manage to return funds to the Treasury. Yeah, they do lay out some risks here to the program. The only possible risk that they see is that referenda could potentially be presented intentionally with the option to only claim undelivered bounty funds through a third party. I guess, possibly. I mean, another grift on the table. But I don't know. Maybe seems like it could be a good idea with, I don't know if that risk is very, very high. Especially with all these new tools that we've been developing. But yeah, what do we think about that? Yeah, let's go.
Now I'm gonna look like a right ass for just saying that I might be able to help with the Campella thing and then saying this is a good idea. No, yeah, I mean, why not, right? A lot of the funds that have gone to undelivered refs, like the one we mentioned the other week with Bruno, who now works at Polygon, that you should all tag on Twitter and tag Polygon and tell Polygon they stole the money and didn't deliver anything. You should definitely do that. He hates that. It's brilliant. No, it would be good if people can facilitate that, right? There's people with different connections that can hopefully like get messages to people. I mean, why not, right? Yeah.
Well, that's a house of shame, everybody. Thanks for being here and enduring it. Hopefully, we can do better in the future, and I think we are. It's always nice to take a look at.
There are other refs that we're going to be going to next week.
Yeah.
Where even OG Tracker counts them as being done.
Yeah.
But the way in which they were actually completed is not great. And that could be something that we can discuss next week potentially.
Okay, would love to do that. And if anybody else has
there's a lot of refs where it's not clear in the referendum as to which teams might benefit from things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they choose teams that shouldn't benefit from such things under the Polkadot umbrella, for example. So if somebody posts a ref and it's not explicitly clear what they're going to do, you should probably vote nay on it. If it's just open-ended, like we might work with this team, there's a lot of examples of that where people just post, we might work with some team, and don't say who it is, and then imply that it's people. And then when it's not explicit, they just go with somebody else that's a team that I don't think people would want Polkadot to spend money on. So yeah, be careful. If something is only implicit, don't vote aye on it. It's really easy. Super easy.
Okay, very intriguing. Tune in next week for House of Shame. And if anybody has a shame that they'd like to share, just drop it in my DMs and we'll try to include it in the show. I want to try to keep track of this stuff. All right, we're going to move on to some refs on the go. Just one to look at this week. This is the Polkadot Cloud website development. We had Flez on the show last week, and he has made some ground, but not quite over the line yet. 48.8% in favor with 2 days, just about 3 days remaining in the decision period. So this will likely go into sudden death if he does get over the line there, and we'll have to see what happens there. Any other refs on the go that we might want to discuss this week? Some interesting ones coming out. We have the Substrate Asset game engine from Una, from Cedric at Una, just looking for 80,000 USDT for, is this already completed or is it on the way? Overview. Okay. Roadmap. No, this is okay. Here we are on the milestones here. So milestone 1 is 80% completed. So we've begun work, but they're looking for funding for the rest. Yeah, Lee.
A quick one. If any fellowship members are watching / on the call and you're competent with whitelisting calls, please DM me. I believe I know how to do it, but I'm going to whitelist the USD to USDC sufficiency ref. It works in Chopsticks, but I don't know how to whitelist the. How to simulate the whitelisted wrapped version of it. So if anyone knows anybody that can help me out, that would be super, because then we can get that done.
All right. Hey, a few others on the go here. We have this big tipper request, 2,400 USDC from Niftesti, who's built a template for building apps in the Polkadot ecosystem. Niftesti, one of my favorite devs in the ecosystem right now. He works for very reasonable rates, and he makes very high value stuff. I saw Chaos DAO recently stole Kus DAO's delegation dashboard. They're posting a link around. It's still like Kus DAO on the preview, and then you click in, and then it's like you're bamboozled.
Just promise me you won't do a Sorimitsu and sewers for stealing open source software, okay? Just promise us that.
I can't make any promises, of course, but we'll discuss that a little further. So here's a tip there for Niftesti. Fuel Arts, they were on the show last week. They've gone and submitted their proposal, 316,000 USDT. This is that kind of artist incubator and NFT launcher on Polkadot in association with BitBasil. And that's pretty cool, but I'm very interested to see how the votes come out there. What is sports stake development and EU marketing funding proposal? This is Ref 1505, fresh a couple days ago. Kukabi.
I think the BitBasil one showed up a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they came back. This is a new proposal.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, they've come back. Different scope on this one. I think.
Okay.
I bet they'll be back on the show.
Cool. We'll take a look.
Yeah. Sports Stake is a mobile wallet app that allows sports fans to stake DOT while automatically supporting their favorite sports club by sharing a small portion of their staking rewards. 272.5 thousand USDC for that one. Would be very eager to have them on the show. Man, if only there was some massive news about Polkadot powered apps for sports teams coming down the line. That could be wild. Polkabiz business mentorship and ecosystem support. Polkabiz is back with a proposal. Hopefully we get them on the show. And, oh, this is cool. Accurast also just put one in. This is a storage solution on their decentralized compute network made of mobile phones. They want to add this. It's called Min.io. That's pretty cool. 43,000, 45,000. Could be a good bid and definitely a great team. Anything else we want to talk about? We want to wrap this puppy up. Good to go. Just in confirmation here. Oh, maybe it just finished. Did you say this in Refs Gone By?
The just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally finished like 5 minutes before the show started.
Yeah, there you go. So there it is. Approved. Funding for Reactive DOT. This is confirming right now 89,444 USDC. And Subscan with a PVM integration, building a unified explorer for the Polkadot ecosystem. Subscan, this is confirming 100% in favor at nearly 250,000 USDT. That's the show, everybody. Nice to have you all here. Oh, that was what's up, Lee? Yeah. Did that seem insincere?
No.
Okay.
I unmuted accidentally. I tabbed in and as I went in, I unmuted. I was
I
just
was totally meant to be sincere. This was a great show. Remember at the top of the show we heard from the dot play team from Angie. What else did we do here? We got the PBAX on. That was interesting to clear all that up. Renewal of the USDT. Big discussion on DV. We're going to be interested to see how that goes, and all the rest. Tune in this Sunday for Space Monkeys. This is with the Twin team. Tokenizing gold on Polkadot Hub, zipping around the industry with Hyperbridge and used as collateral on Kylix. That's a really interesting one and really nice people. I think you'll enjoy that one. Great story. Would be fantastic to get this asset. High quality tokenized gold on chain. Could be very cool. Other than that, we'll see you all on Monday for AAG Kusama edition, where we're going to submit another RFP and have just a good old time. Limo, you ready for that? Yeah, Lee.
Yeah. One thing. So I posted some tweet the other day.
No.
It was like a Kusama Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh yeah.
And then in the comment, I mentioned a project called Railgun, which if you're a dodgy obfuscation person. You probably know Railgun. So somebody, I won't name who, but someone quite high up in Polkadot liked the Railgun one. So it could be worth thinking about how we can get Railgun deployed on Kusama Asset Hub, because it is deployed on Polygon, Arbitrum, Ethereum, and BSC and more. I'm sure you can read between the lines on who liked my Railgun tweet and why it's maybe something that we can think about. Maybe
like
pay them to deploy on Kusama. Maybe
smells like an RFP.
Potentially, or maybe just someone reaches out to Railgun and figures out how much it costs. Maybe.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, could be good. Before we head off, I'm going to throw it to Yannick.
Hello.
All right, and thank you very much, everybody. No, sorry, Crane. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, we finished Marketing Bounty call a bit earlier than usually, so I tried to jump in to be a good Polkadot citizen, but it seems like I caught the last minute of it. But I'm here.
What's going on with Marketing Bounty? I mean,
the
Marketing Bounty Twitter has been totally lit up. I don't know, resurrected, but otherwise, what's going on?
You know, we hired some guy out of Fiverr, but he's doing like a medium good job for that.
Yeah. Hope you pay medium well.
Yeah.
What's the story with Marketing Bounty?
Great group of lads.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Getting all together. It's really nice. No, sorry, it was a bit unprepared. Basically, it's shaping up really nicely. Like a lot of holes got filled. We got the PR thing is sorted for the next year. Luckily,
yeah,
we are now just approved paid media thing campaign, which we can give out on a full agency, which can handle that for multiple accounts like Polkadot Media, Nova Wallet. I need to talk to you, Limo. Talisman as well, and Hydration was the tester, which will get continued. So we're just trying to basically give it all away to full agencies who prove themselves worthy. Yeah, the Kaito thing is a bit of a headache for us still, but we're working actually tirelessly on that to improve the whole thing. But yeah, no, it's good. It's coming together. I hope you're happy. If you're not happy, my DMs are open. Please DM me because I really need feedback of you guys.
You just brought on a new curator as well, yeah?
That's right. We onboarded Nettie, who is it's like a month now, but she fills in for Jeepa, who left after his mission, his establishment OG watch mission was basically done. We are going, by the way, we're going soon. Our last payment is coming in, I think, tomorrow, and then the schedule is over without getting canceled. Whoop. And we're gonna go for a new round of proposal sometime end of April, just to mentally prepare all you guys. But you will get like a nice proposal with all the list, what we did, what is there with reports, when reports are available, etc. So you can have like a full picture of all the activities the Marketing Bounty did in the last 6 months, which was actually quite a lot.
All right. Somebody on Twitter in the chat calling us nerds. I want to thank you very much for that. Jose, you've been looking good all call, but you haven't said much. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, too many voices, man. My voice is not that loud. Anyways, Yannick, this is for you, for the Marketing Bounty. And it's just something that I've been thinking for a while now. It's like, how can we get involved? Because, with your guys are basically choosing all these PR agencies and stuff. And is there a unified voice that is talking to all of them together? So we can have a unified PR strategy around it. How is that working? It's like, who is handling that, and how much expertise is in the team, marketing team, your team, to do that?
Sorry, there were multiple ones. How you get involved? Like from a proposal side, you can obviously submit a proposal from our landing page.
No, for more like oversight into it, because it's like who is setting the pace for the messaging going out to the PR agencies?
I didn't say her. Basically, there are two parts. There are the real breaking story ones, which is we have both are, by the way, handled by Distractive because they put in the most comprehensive proposal, and they got that DF grant from Web3 Foundation. So the manpower is paid by the Web3 Foundation, but we are paying basically everything besides behind that. So the Melrose, in the case of North America, which is like a quite reputable PR agency, and Yes. So if it's a break story, you need to pitch in like 3 to 2 weeks beforehand. You need to go to Johnson from Distractive, and he will take care of you, or not, but he will be your point of contact. And we just actually last week we just funded Bitwire, which is basically what Chainwire did, but from Melrose as well. So basically more like they're pumping out. It's for more low-key stuff, but there's a straight up pump out the news to Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, and well, all these minor stuff. We funded 50 pieces of that, and we need to use it in, I think, 10 months, end of years. I think I'm trying to extend a bit because I don't want what's happened with Chainwire. They got, I think, $600,000, and they blasted it all out in like 4 or 3.5 months, which was like a bit wasteful. So basically, but to answer your question, if you want to get something out through there, it's still, Jonathan, your contact of point, but this will be run by us just as an oversight, so we don't get like minuscule news which costs like $10,000 a pop, which is not obviously good spend of money. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Limo.
If you have any other questions, just DM me, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just glad to hear that my boy Yannick is filling a lot of holes, as he said. That was pretty nice to hear. But through working with Crane, Yannick, and the other people at the market, like Yuba and Evan and stuff, it's been pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. They're helping us through a lot of processes at Nova. There should be some interesting stuff coming out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we honor debit cards are coming pretty soon. There's going to be some cool stuff there coming, and other stuff that I think Big Yannick will complain at me if I say on AAG right now. So we'll leave it at that.
All
Definitely
right.
before signing. But yeah.
Very good. Thanks for the update, Crane. And we'll happy to see you back anytime to hear more about that. Look out for
I'm
your
not happy.
proposal. You're not happy? Limo's not happy. The guy's hard to please. Hey, look, I just want to make sure everybody does as much as they can this week. Remember, it's all about action. Your ideas, are great, but let's get to work. We have a lot of ground to make up here to inject more truth into the world, and I think we can do it together with constant action. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks, everybody.
you.